You guys can join us if needed. Um, it's an automatic invite, so you should guys should be allowed inside the Discord channel quite quickly. Excellent. That's the Discord link. We man that 24 by 7. So, should anybody have any questions, feel free to hop in and uh, we'll get you started. All right. So, the agenda of today's stream is essentially about going through a often skipped topic in chatbots or when we're talking about generative AI, and that's these interfaces that reside on your website, right? Uh, because for many companies, B2B or B2C companies, the website is essentially the face of the company, right? So it becomes very essential that the bot that you're building for your website blends in with the theme. It's able to augment the uh, the theme of the websites, of course, and is able to augment the fact that these websites are present to essentially attract potential customers, visitors, users, and so on and so forth. So today's session is primarily focused on building these amazing interfaces which help convert leads or engage with your users, and how we do that in Chiron. So I will start by essentially giving a brief about what Chiron is. For those who do not know about Chiron, I'll give a small brief about what we are and who we are. And then I'll quickly get into the demo where we build an interface for a website, and I take you to the platform and and help you figure out how to build an engaging interface for a chatbot. We'll keep things simple. We won't make things very complicated. Uh, there are a large number of features and very cool features in Chiron that can be used, but we'll keep it simple so that you guys can play with it at a later stage. So let me quickly share my screen and we can take it from there. Okay, here we go. All right, my website's up and running. I hope my screen is visible. I'll quickly share my screen, presentation mode. Excellent. So, uh, Chiron is essentially the product of Nimblework. Nimblework has been in the business for the last 20 years. We cater to very large enterprises, and we help them deliver complex projects in the fields of IT, e-commerce, healthcare, insurance, and so on and so forth. And in while helping these large clients, we quickly realized that generative AI is a very powerful system that is helping enterprises increase their efficiency. And there was a clamor that the Chiron platform itself can be offered as a separate product. And therefore, in the last year or 2 years or so, we have created the entire platform that can help uh, organization deliver conversational AI experiences, right? So the core idea is that Chiron is a single platform in which you can deliver multiple Gen AI use cases. So we have created these use cases for marketing teams, sales teams, product teams, all the internal departments of an organization. And the cool thing about this is that every single team that exists within an organization caters to different personas. So you have leads, customers, users, and internal employees. And each of these persona engages with the company through different channels. So today we're going to focus on websites because that is where chatbots exist. But Chiron is capable of deploying chatbots on social media channels, on within SaaS products, on internal channels, and essentially it helps manage conversations better. It helps manage relationships better. Uh, it helps track user journeys to improve the smoothness of a SaaS product, and it also makes internal processes more efficient. So that is the crux of what Chiron helps achieve, right? And this is the broad structure of how Chiron works. We sit on top of the data that an organization has. We interact with the APIs of the products that the organization uses internally, right? And What we then do is we have Chiron as a platform that sits on top of this. It is learning continuously from the data. It's interacting with the APIs, and this is where the bot resides. So when I show you a Chiron platform, essentially this is the area where the AI sits, right? And then it manifests itself into various channels. So it could be social channels, your web clients, so on and so forth. But the objective of chatbots is essentially to increase engagement, right? You have a large number of chatbot offerings out there. I'm not here to sell Chiron. I'm just uh, guiding you and telling you that, hey, there are a large number of chatbot platforms out there. But more often than not, chatbots are not a checkbox. I mean, the reason why you have a chatbot is to essentially help increase engagement and answer queries that your users may have when they're inquisitive, and potentially guide them towards further engagement with you. So it's very easy to set up a chatbot. I mean, you don't need Chiron for that. You just need a small interface in which you can answer basic queries, but it's just a checkbox. The idea is, if the objective is just to set up a chatbot, I think there are multiple options. But if you want to convert that small real estate that you have into an engagement system that can help you convert leads, that can help you potentially answer the basic questions that a user may have before he connects with you, that's when you need a very powerful interface, and that's where Chiron helps. So the objective is to increase engagement. Okay, and then of course you have the subsequent set of use cases where you are either analyzing the feedback that the users are giving you, and then you're improving your bot in the process. All right. In our previous streams, a large number of my colleagues were helping you, the audience, set up different kinds of bots. So we've classified them into four increasing complexity of bots that can be created in Chiron. Basic Q&A retrieval bots that can essentially retrieve data from a given database. Action flows are essentially where your bots can interact and connect with APIs, and they're able to perform actions. Like suppose you want someone to authenticate, so you ask a set of questions and then you authenticate. So that becomes an action flow. Proactive agents, where you're able to intervene proactively by reading what's happening on the website. And lastly, community building websites. So community building bots rather. So I will not get into how these bots are built. I think there are you can visit our YouTube channel, and there are a bunch of videos where we help you build bots. But today I will focus on building the interface for these four levels of bots. Okay, excellent. So with that started, I think I've got the short introduction out of the way. So I quickly jump into my screen and show you the website that we are trying to build today and what we will be building. So this is we just picked it up. It's called food.com. Feel free to visit it. We have no connection with food.com. We're just choosing it as an example. But it's a very interesting website because it has got a lot of details on recipes, different kind of healthy meal plans, and so on and so forth. And it does not have a bot. So we thought, why not imagine what a bot would look like on this website? And what you see immediately is a small bot here, which is screaming to be turned on, because I've added a little bit of interactions there using a GIF. And we have two tabs here. One is the live assistant, which will potentially ask questions. I mean, answer questions that the user may have. And then you also have a live agent system there, where you can directly connect with agents. Now, ordinarily, if I had to build this up and deploy it on a website, it would take quite a set of skills. I would need a front end engineer to develop this code, set it up. Then I need someone to deploy it, and then if any changes are required, it would have to go through a loop. So the thinking here is that we show you how this can be done very rapidly in Chiron itself, and and then let you guys play and see what interesting things that you guys come up with, right? All right, so I just quickly getting into it. I've just refreshed the website, so the bot has disappeared. Our goal is at this end of the session to essentially have a bot which is similar to the ones I showed you earlier. Okay, I'll quickly move into this mode so that you guys can see my bot as it is being developed, and so that my interface doesn't block the camera view. Excellent. All right. So I'll just quickly sign in. Okay. I don't have a bot ready here, so I'll just quickly create a chat bot. Let's call it food bot. Okay. Okay. A bot has been created. I'll enter this. So as soon as you visit the Chiron interface, I'll just expand my screen a bit so that it fits the stream. Okay. So as soon as you enter the Chiron interface, you will see that the entire menu system is split into different menu segments. So you can create, train, deploy, and monitor your bots. And within each one of them, the essential part where you're essentially configuring and designing your client, we call it the web client, is something like this. Right? It's called configure client. Now, one cool thing that we need to figure out when you're building the chat client is to look at the theme of the website. So, if you understand, if you look at this, it's mostly in black, white, and a little bit of yellow thrown in. So it will be if a bot client is built which has got a little bit of black, yellow, and white, it should fit into the theme quite well. The other cool thing is that the website is fairly static. There are no videos. It's not very ostentatious. It's very minimalistic. So to complement this, you would need a client which is screaming for attention. So what we need to do is probably add a little bit of animation here and there in the client itself, so that the visitor is inquisitive enough to go click it. So for the first task would be to figure out what the colors of the system would be. So this is food.com, so let's call it foodbot. So for now, I will remove this name so that I can replace it with my name later on. Uh, it's got a circular icon. I could convert this into a hexagonal icon if needed, or I could keep it as a square icon. But I guess because um, it's very minimalistic, let's keep it at the circle. It seems good enough. I'll define the welcome message, which shows up as the first message the user sees. So I'll call it welcome to our GPT powered foodbot. Okay. And we can always iterate this and improve it at a later stage. The cool thing here is we have this up button and down button. So if people are not happy with it, they can give you feedback, and all of it is tracked within the platform. So how well your bot is answering is completely captured in the web client itself. And that is a very important part of getting feedback, because as a person who's designing bots, it's very important to understand how people are interacting with the bot, what they're finding cool about it, what's not so good, right? Is what type of bot is this? I'm essentially looking at a lead conversion bot. So let's call it a lead conversion bot, and that's essentially a categorization that we give the bot to figure out what the behavior should be. All right. At this juncture, I'll keep this as random. That means because I have a website, I don't have a login page. One thing that we have done within our client system is that if your website needs someone to log in, then you can pass his username to to the client itself. So with this, what happens is that it will greet the user by his name, right? So it makes it very personal. But in this case, of course, food.com does not have any login screen, so I'm using the user is usually random. So we give it a random user ID, and we use cookies to store that. And yeah, The domain whitelisting is something very detailed, but the core idea there is that you can prevent the bot from being deployed onto other websites. You can tie it to a single domain, so that that's security to the system. We are an enterprise platform, so it is very essential that we help with security as well. So, domain whitelisting helps you secure your code and commit it to a single website, so others cannot copy the code and take it somewhere else. All right, so let me just save that. Now we come to the interesting part of this. So I wanted something in black, I wanted something in white and yellow, right? So I will choose to make these header icons black. So I'll just quickly go to food.com, make that black. But is this the same black as food.com? Not too sure, are we? So one thing that we can definitely do is upload the logo itself directly into the system. Now, how do we do that? I'll save this. I'll go to the assets, and we have given a bunch of assets that you can upload which are related to the bot, right? So in this, this is where I want food.com in bright black and with a small bit of yellow thrown in. So I'll just quickly search for food.com logos. Okay, images. I see a white with black. Do I see black on white? Just let me search through. Yeah, there we go. So this is the food.com logo. I can copy the image address here directly and I'll paste it here. So ideally it should show up. There we go. It did show up, right? But you see there's a small difference between this black and this black. So I need that thing to match. Bit of an OCD thing that I have, but let me get it sorted out. Okay, header. There we go. And that's blended in fairly well. I save it. Okay, so we're getting there. This is your sender icon. I can either right now just keep it at blue, or I could choose to make it yellow, so that that's the one distinctive color that food.com has. So what I will do is I'll quickly go and convert the send icon into a bright yellow. How do I do that? Just click on this, and search for the yellow, and I'm done. Okay. At a later stage, we'll also see how we can enable a microphone here. So now you can make it a talk to speech, so you can essentially get users to speak and it will work. Currently, we're supporting, I think, Chrome and Firefox, not Internet Explorer 10. So, but yeah, and that's something that we look at the later stage. Okay, this is the color of the person who's the bot that is typing in. So I can choose to make that background black as well. I can make it, nah, black is too bad. Okay, or can I convert this into white so that I can have text? Perfect, looks good enough. So let's do this. We have black with white thrown in. I've got a tinge of yellow and I'm there. Save this one more time. The close icon. So the thing here is this is the one that any user will notice on the website uh, when the bot is not activated. This should also have the same colors. But the thing is that this should attract users, right? It's not just good enough for it to stay there static because they don't know that they have to come and click it. So you need to have some kind of micro interactions thrown in there, so that the users can essentially know that they need to click the icon there, right? For that, what I have done is I have pre-prepared uh, an animation GIF for food.com, um, which is a bit more vibrant. It has got a little more it calls out more for attention, right? So it's a small itty bitty thing that we've created here, which is essentially vibrating very quickly. So when a person looks at it, you want to go and click it. And you can choose to have other kind of systems as well. And what I've done is I've taken this and I've posted this on Giphy. So I have a Giphy link with me. So that's the one I will use. Okay. All right. So let me just add that quickly into my assets. I take it to my open button. Boom. All right. So you can see the Giphy icon showing up here. It is vibrating, right? And but it doesn't look good enough yet because the colors are still mismatched. So what I will go ahead is and change the theme as well. So this should have the same kind of black as the header. That mixes with the icon, and I save it. Yep, and I have the basic structure of the bot ready, right? Or rather, the basic look and feel of the bot ready. Now, within this, I can, of course, do other things like I can increase the size of the food.com a bit more so that the logo is hitting you and the users feels that this particular bot belongs on the bot on the website. And what else can we do? Can we adjust the size of the container? I think that we can do that later. Let's do that later. All right. So this is my basic bot structure ready. So is it? It's a good time for us to go and check how it would look like on the actual website. So I'll just quickly generate the test script for this. I'll go here, inspect. So this is a nice way in which you can check how your client looks like on the website, right? Without having to actually deploy it. So if you, as a designer, if you're making small changes here and there, it makes sense to understand how the website look and feel will change with the presence or the absence of the bot. So, so does this look at home? Sure. I mean, uses the same color. They are using yellow on black. I'm using black on white. So, I think this looks good enough to start with. I think the headers can be changed a bit, so I can increase the width of the header a bit more. But what is missing is that I'm assuming that this particular website doesn't have um, is gets frequent set of questions, but they would also love to have some kind of live agent as well. So you can have two tabs. One tab which essentially answers your basic set of questions, which are generative AI based, and I can have another uh, tab which is only dedicated to live agent. So whenever the website is banned, they should be able to see these folk and get their questions answered directly. So that is one thing that is missing. The second thing is I have this small icon which is um, the food icon and the bot is moving in, but still it doesn't call out too well. So I need something that can stand out and greet the user and say, "Hey, the bot's here. It's ready to answer questions." So I think that's something that we need to look at. So I will do that. So for that we have something called the dialog message, which will solve that problem, right? So let's say that the background is, so I want to follow something that they've done here, where they have a white background and then they have a black text, font color. So I want to do something very similar with my messaging as well. So what I can go ahead and do it as a, I can go to the background and go with this icon, go to the background, change the color to yellow. Okay, have my text in, what was it again? Black. Yeah, this looks good. But I want the color to be exactly what my header looks like. So I'll take that, make that change happen, save it. And what should be the greeting message be? So it will be welcome to the new food. No, let's make it sentence case. To the new food.com chatbot. Or yeah, chatbot. Oh, welcome to new. Welcome to food.com, and here answer queries. Let's keep it short. Okay, save that. And what would it look like? Let's just try that. Yep, there we go. So welcome to food.com. I'm here to answer queries. Still, it doesn't match this button here. So I need to change the font size to get that same kind of font, right? To start with, we need to make it all caps, right? And probably make it thicker in font, I guess. So let me try that. Okay, with this change, does it increase the impact? Ooh, that's closer. We'll get there. I think this is the way I can attract attention, so it works. Okay, something else is missing. So we've talked about how the bot will attract users to itself by the fact that we've introduced micro interactions. We've introduced this small little query that or this notification that disappears in a few seconds. So I've set it at mm, a few seconds. So I need to increase the time. So I can say let's increase the time to 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Save. So let's stay for a short period of time. It's not too long. But the way you determine the time that the dialogue, how you decide this time, is based on the distribution of how much time your visitors spend on your website. So if you have a huge drop off, that means 90% of your visitors are dropping off within the 2 second mark. So it actually makes sense to have the dialogue close time at somewhere around 4 or 5 seconds, and it should immediately turn on and stop in 4 or 5 seconds because you want the visitor to come and be curious about what your bot has to offer. So these timings are determined by a study of the visitor journeys on your website. We help you do that. There are analytics within Chiron that can help you do that, right? Okay, so we talked about the client. We figured out what it looks like. I can type hi. Damn, I missed this. So I need to go back into save. Go back to essentials theme, and I'll change this icon to black as well. Okay, actions. Yeah, that should work out. Okay, now we've dealt with dialog boxes. The next thing is ribbons. So sometimes you may have a promotional offer. So let's assume that food.com is having a promotional offer. Um, just- just- yeah. So okay. Um, so sometimes you may want to have the ribbon working. You may want it to call out, say, 30% off on the meals that are offered with a selection of books, probably. So some kind of offer, and you want the user to essentially understand that that's a specific kind of news that they have. So you would use a ribbon for that. So let's say 30% off on all recipe book on our recipe book. Let's try this. Background color again will be black. Uh, Text color is, let's keep it yellow. Let's just grab that yellow there quickly and add path. Let's just add it at the home page. Includes everything. Okay. Ribbon height can be 36. Let's go with the default size. Placement is at the bottom. Font size could be 14 points. Let's increase it to 40. Let's say this way. And let's just give default. Uh, the open delays, with what delay would you want the ribbon to show up? So let's assume in 3 seconds. Font size is again Roboto. And we can change it based on our needs. And we say add. And this is how the preview would look like. Let's go back and check on the website how it changes the field. Inspect console. Okay. Now, if all goes right, I should suddenly see the small pop-up come here. 30% off on our recipe books, right? Let's call it recipe books, get the grammar right. Let's say till September. Till September 20th. Okay. Update. Cool. So, and what should it look like? Inspect. Let's just see the final version of what the book bot looks like on the website. We've got the very nice indeed. So you have the bot which is looking good. It's able to have these micro interactions, so it can interact the user. You have a nice call out which tells you, which invites the user to click it open and be able to ask questions if needed. And you have the small ribbon as well, which works. So that's about it. I think we have the bot. One thing missing is, of course, I needed to add some tabs. So we talked about it earlier, where we want to add a live agent and have the bot answer a question. So how do we do that? So we have something called tabs, which help you add multiple tabs within the client itself. So you can devote a certain section of that small interface for, say, ads, or you have another part of the interface specifically for live agent. So you can have multiple tabs. It makes sense to have up to 2 tabs. More than that, it gets a bit more crowded. 2 tabs are a sweet spot for these small kind of bots that you have on your website. So let me call it live agent. I suppose they would want a live agent to look on. Let's just call it live so that we can use it. Okay. And on submit intent would be live underscore agent. So something cool about this is that when you have this particular tab, you can trigger specific GenAI flows within the bot Chiron platform itself. So you need not have another bot in another tab. Within the same bot, you can have a dedicated GenAI flow. So in this case, I'm using the live agent GenAI flow directly in this particular tab. So any user who comes there, asks the question, is directly connected to a live agent instead of having to go to the general question answer tab. So the user knows that if he wants the live agent, he needs to go to this tab. If he wants answers from a chat GPT or a generative AI based bot, he needs to go to the former tab. Okay, let's just add that. Okay, the configuration has been saved. So ideally, I should see 2 bots here. It says this is default. I think that can be changed. So let's go to this here and let's go to theme. Then I can get the assets. Yeah, let's call the default chat name chat or bot. Okay, let's call it bot. Let's save it. Now, very interestingly, we have a large number of other small changes that you can make within your client. Often, sometimes what happens is your the bot CSS may interfere with your website's CSS. For that reason, you can use a shadow DOM where needed. And I want to enable microphone here. I don't want it to be just purely chat. So I can enable voice to text. Then immediately this will turn into a microphone. So for all supported browsers, you can essentially have voice to text enabled. Okay, and then you have iframe clients. So in case you want to have it as an iframe, you can do that. I can make the chat button draggable. Let's do that as well. So if you can, if the bot is obstructing your view, you can move it around based on the user's needs. Save this. Okay, and you have two tabs ready. So I have a live tab and I have a bot tab. And here, if I type hi, I should be able to work. And here I can say hi. It's tab one, and this is tab 2, and that's it. So I've got two different tabs. The interactions are changing based on which tab is active. All right, so let me just quickly see how this looks like on our website, food.com. So quickly go there, inspect console, and right, and there we go. Right, close this, delete the stage. I think I've got this. Sorry for that. This 30% off doesn't seem to be working too well for me. It is interfering with the bot icon itself. So probably it makes sense for us to remove it for now. So I'll go ahead and do that. So the cool thing with these kind of systems is that, as you notice, I'm actively being able to make changes. Actively making changes without going through the hassle of seeing what it looks like after deployment. I'm able to make these changes very rapidly uh, and make sure that the bot uh, works with the theme of the website. And that is very, very powerful. That's very unique to what Chiron offers. So I think you can play with it and see how easy it is. Okay. All right. So we have this bot working. We have other elements as well. So I can have nudges as well. So I can have small little pop-ups come out from different parts of the website based on my needs. In case you want 3 or 4 different mechanisms by which you can attract user to a specific portion of the website, you can do that as well. All right. I think we're on top of the 45 minutes, almost at the end of the presentation. I hope you guys got something out of this. The idea or the takeaway from this particular session or episode of Chiron YouTube live streams is that designing your website client is a very, very important aspect because it is the face of the bot and the website. And when if you want to convert your website from just being a mere presence to something that actively generates leads, that is able to actively convert leads, you need a very good looking UI as well. The bot is fair. I mean, I've not concentrated too much about building the bot itself, but it is the interface that is drawing the user in that is very, very important. So, with that, I'll be closing this live